Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel, thank you. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Perfect World based on novel. So let's start. Several days later, in Stone Country capital, an old man was walking rather slowly. There was a special rhythm and pace to his movement as he entered the city. There were many people on the streets, but even though it was crowded, his body never made contact with anyone else's. He wore an ancient Daoist robe. His skin was wrinkled, and his hair was a grayish color. He looked rather aged, but his eyes were still bright and full of life. After entering the city, he didn't move too quickly or too slowly as he looked around Stone Capital. Soon after, he appeared in the Imperial Palace, immediately leaving a group of Imperial guards shocked. They didn't know how he entered this place. He looked at the great formations inside the Imperial Palace and nodded. His eyes narrowed as he carefully studied them a bit. He didn't kill anyone and only said, "Where is your human emperor? I wish to meet with him to discuss a few matters." Even if these Imperial guards knew where Stone Village was, they wouldn't say anything, let alone to someone they didn't know at all. "Don't be nervous, I won't take action. I come here in good faith and wish to meet your Stone Emperor." He smiled as he spoke, revealing a gentle expression. Goosebumps broke out all over Peng Nine's body. He felt like even if he did everything he could, he wouldn't be able to harm a single hair on this individual's body. His Majesty has left. Even I do not know where he is right now. Peng Nine forcefully calmed himself down and said, "Is that so? Then I'll wait for him in Stone Capital." The elder's figure became indistinct, disappearing into thin air. Stone Village. Shahao stepped onto the altar. Right now, everyone in the village was here. They all opened up their mouths, but they didn't know how to make him stay. Everything they wanted to say had already been said. "Child, protect your body and don't die. Living is more important than anything else," a clan elder said. "Little Uncle Hao, we are waiting for you. You said you would bring us to steal from the nest of a great golden-winged peng, so you definitely have to come back alive." A child rubbed at the tears that had welled up in his eyes. Shahao didn't want to look at this type of send-off scene. He directly activated the passageway and disappeared inside. "Your Majesty!" An Imperial guard cried out in alarm. As soon as Shahao walked down from the Imperial Palace's altar, he felt a powerful energy. There was a wave of energy covering all of Stone Capital. "Stone Emperor, it's an honor to meet you at last." The elder smiled and downed the glass of wine. With a wave of Shahao's hand, a wine bottle and glass appeared in his hands. He sat down at the top of the summit, and also raised it in a toast before drinking it. "Isn't it better to drink together, what do you think?" The elder stood up while carrying a warm smile. "Distance brings favorable impressions." Shahao responded. "Stone Emperor, there is no need to act so cautious. The meeting between us might not necessarily be one of life and death," said the elder. He then introduced himself as Huang Yu from Immortal Palace. "Little friend, are you willing to enter my Immortal Palace?" the elder asked. When Shahao heard this, he was stupefied. He couldn't understand why this elder would say such a thing. "Little friend, perhaps you do not know much about my Immortal Palace. If you join, it will definitely not bring disgrace or humiliation to your natural talents and status." The elder smiled and gave a simple introduction. "What kind of relationship do you all have with Supreme Palace?" Shahao asked. From what he knew, Supreme Palace had even less members, with there only being a single member in each generation. The elder chuckled. Finally, he said a single word. "Enemies." Shahao was stunned. It truly was unexpected. He thought that these two mysterious organizations might be of a common origin, but he never expected that they had an opposing relationship. Supreme Palace is also in the higher realms, only, after falling in defeat countless years ago, they fled to the lower realm. The elder smiled. Shahao was astonished. This was truly hard to believe. Shahao was shocked. Could the elder have said all of this to see whether he really was a disciple from Supreme Palace? If that was the case, he naturally wouldn't join Immortal Palace. "I do wish to obtain the Transcendence piece, but that opportunity unfortunately never presented itself." He shook his head. Elder is joking. Xiahao looked at him, feeling a hidden wave of vicious energy that didn't seem to belong to that of a human. He should be some type of fierce bird or vicious beast. His name was Huang Yu, so could he be an archaic vicious bird? I heard your esteemed self invite me to Immortal Palace just now, so how could you act so modest now? Xiahao was more and more confident that the elder was testing him. Huang Yu laughed and said, as an old servant of Immortal Palace, even though my cultivation is lacking and I don't have great natural talent, I am still capable of seeing potential. Xiahao sat on the rooftop of the Imperial Palace. There was over 20 li between them. When conversing with their divine will, there wasn't much of a difference. No one else was alarmed. What does your esteemed self really want by seeking me out? Xiahao asked. He felt like a battle was most likely unavoidable. Naturally, just peaceful interaction. I also do not wish to take up arms. I have 3 conditions. As long as you agree to them, you will act as the human emperor, and I will search for my natural opportunities. There wouldn't be any conflicts between us. Huang Yu said. Please speak. Xiahao knew that he couldn't have come here for no reason. There were definitely some issues. It all depended on what kind of conditions they were. The first is that my original form is a divine bird, so I wish to have a look at your Kuan-Peng technique to enhance my Dao. Huang Yu's face carried a smile as he spoke of the first condition. Continue. Xiahao remained calm and collected. Second, I wish to see your supreme being bone. Rest assured, I will not break it and will just wish to see it on the physical body. Huang Yu's smile was extremely gentle. Xiahao didn't say anything. He calmly looked at him. The third is that I am going to seal you for 100 years, keeping your cultivation at the Supreme Being realm and preventing you from breaking through any further, said Huang Yu. He restrained his smile and explained further, saying, your growth is too fast. Little friend, only like this can we truly peacefully associate with each other and prevent conflicts. I keep my promises. Huang Yu smiled. The wrinkles on his face seemed to disappear with this smile. If we do this, what type of freedom can there be said for me? Having my true body suppressed by your precious technique, and being unable to cultivate, I'll lose all control over life and death. How can this be considered peaceful coexistence? Xiahao shouted. This is the only way to avoid a fierce battle. Believe me, doing things this way will be beneficial for both me and you, Huang Yu said. I do not see how it is beneficial for me. Xiao's face fell. I will help you unify the 8 regions, and make you the emperor of all of the lower realms. Millions and millions of li full of mountains and rivers will be under your control. The elder smiled. Golden flames began to jump on his body. Then? Xiahao coldly asked. Then, you and me will join hands to search for the great natural opportunities of the lower realm together. For example, the supreme hall that you were interested in, we can enter it together, said the elder. It's because you want my blood, right? Xiao's face became more and more downcast. He learned from the 3 deities' sea of consciousness that special supreme being blood was needed in order to enter the supreme palace. You are that sure of yourself? Xiahao stood up. Even though there was more than 20 li between them, he was still emitting powerful battle intent. I'm old already, so I am no longer as courageous as before. I paid Heaven Mending Pavilion a visit, been to the Northern Sea, and even made a trip around the outside of Western Tomb World, understanding a few things as a result. I should be able to capture you. Xiahao was speechless. Little friend, I still advise you to carefully reconsider. You are threatening me. Xiao's eyes released divine radiance. He stood above a mountain range. It can't really be considered a threat. This old one is originally a vicious bird, and in my earlier years, I have unleashed slaughter before to satisfy my desire for good food, devouring quite a few creatures. You are a vicious bird, vile and vicious. Even if I don't get rid of you today, there will be a day when someone will bring judgment upon your existence. Xiahao said, his face becoming downcast. What are you saying? Are you insisting on fighting against me? Huang Yu carried a faint smile. His face was also a bit cold as he said, youngster, if you act so impetuously, your life will likely end up being quite short. Come over and fight. Xiahao pointed the great halberd at him, and then he flew towards an even farther mountain range, avoiding places with any signs of life to avoid harming the innocent. Huang Yu arrived in this place with a speed that wasn't fast or slow. He said, "Since you wish to fight, then I guess I'll satisfy the wishes of one of the higher realm's great individuals and cut you down. That old thing from underworld Earth." Shahao laughed coldly. Huang Yu shook his head and said, "No, my immortal palace have never cared much about other people's thoughts. At the very least, for most people, immortal palace is a place that can dominate the world." Huang Yu continued to speak slowly. His voice sounded mild-mannered, and a gentle smile rested on his face. When he reached the great wilderness, Shahao no longer retreated or fled. There was only a battle left. There was no way of avoiding it. Now I truly wish that I can become Supreme Hall's sole inheritor. Then, one day, I will fight my way into the higher realms and overturn your so-called tyrannical immortal palace." Shahao said. The higher realms creatures bullied others too far. This immortal palace was especially arrogant, casually ordering an old servant to come down to the lower realm to kill him. He was just too overbearing. "All right, let's just fight here then. If you try to leave, I'll turn around and devour a few million of Stone Country Capital's residents to fill up my stomach a bit," said Huang Yu. "Hand over your life." Shahao roared loudly. He had to defeat this old servant, or else his father, mother, friends, and all of Stone Country Capital would be in danger. Shahao shivered inwardly. This old servant was much more powerful than Yang Li, Pangolin, underworld deity, Yin Yi, and the others. As expected, this single person was equivalent to the joint strength of several deities. "Come, let me see how powerful your imperishable golden body battle clothes and your supreme being bone are," Huang Yu said indifferently. Shahao sighed. The other party even knew about these trump cards, really leaving him a bit helpless. Huang Yu began to walk forward in a seemingly unhurried manner. "Kill!" Shahao released a light shout. His voice was like the cry of a sword, making even the space here tremble in response. He activated all of his body's spiritual essence, igniting his flesh's power. The true deity magical artifact took to the air and released its most terrifying attack. The great golden halberd seemed to come alive like a vicious beast. An enormous golden body unexpectedly appeared that was covered in flickering scales. The horns on its head were sinister in appearance. It raised its head and roared. The great halberd rushed forward and hacked outwards. Meanwhile, the enormous golden beast roared, swooping down as well. On top of that mountainous body, a pair of horns shone dazzlingly. They matched up with the blade of the halberd as they struck down onto Huang Yu. He struck down on the side of the halberd's blade. His fingers were like the most powerful weapons as they landed on the blade. Shahao felt as if he had been struck by thunder as he staggered backwards. If not for the imperishable golden body shining and blocking 90% of this power, he might have been in great danger. Shahao was astonished. This elder couldn't even be considered to be in the same level as the pangolin underworld deity and others anymore. Shahao released a long roar. A broken sword floated around him, and the golden magical sword rose. They both moved around him. He himself even more so erupted with the greatest power. Green and lush stalks of grass took root in the void one after another. At this moment they all released heaven overflowing radiance. One stalk of grass was equivalent to a divine sword. They streaked through the sky. All of the sword energy rushed towards the skies. They were abnormally dazzling. Endless sword energy rushed into the heavens around Shahao, making him look like a reborn, true phoenix that was spreading all of its feathers. It was a magnificent and divine sight. Huang Yu slaughtered over. As soon as he entered this area, he was submerged under endless sword energy. However, the old servant that came from Immortal Palace was unimaginably fast. Star-splitting sword. Shahao roared, displaying the greatest sword intent he grasped. Around him green grass covered the sky. Symbols broke apart heaven and earth, releasing an undying brilliance that made the sky appear pale in comparison. A kuanpeng spread its wings, a swan ni spat out divine lightning, and sword energy covered the sky. Huang Yu was startled. When the sharp golden claw descended and made contact with the grass sword, both sides released endless streaks of blinding symbol light. Shahao coughed out a mouthful of blood and retreated backwards. His body continuously trembled. The difference in strength between the two sides was just too great. Huang Yu rushed over like a ghost. His expression was grave as he shouted, "Speak. Did you obtain a beast skin and learn a portion of the grass character sword intent?" "None of your fucking business," Shahao said. However, he was inwardly shocked. "Did you see the 6 Dao secret sheet?" Huang Yu stared at him. Back then, Shahao truly obtained a piece of beast skin in the Void God realm, but each time he tried to open the little world contained inside he would always fail. He only saw the 2 characters 6 Dao. Huang Yu's figure flickered. He rushed forward, and with a loud sound, Shahao dodged. He turned into a swan ni, and then from his mouth he spat out symbols to defend himself. Lightning immediately covered the skies. Thunder rolled, destroying the elder's divine will. "Youngster, you will definitely pay the price for carelessness," the elder said coldly. His arms moved, actually turning into a pair of golden wings. They were like 2 divine swords as they hacked through the lightning and sliced down on Shahao. He was a vicious bird. A portion of his true body was revealed. He was incredibly ferocious and possessed outstanding power. Shahao's pupils shone with cold light. He quickly turned his body around, rushing downwards to fight the elder head-on. Perhaps he could only use his supreme being bone now. Huang Yu's eyes released cold radiance. He quickly turned around, and when there was still a set distance between them, he displayed a precious technique. He was extremely cautious. The only thing that he felt restraining fear towards was Shahao's supreme being bone. He didn't want to rashly try to face it. Not good. Huang Yu's eyebrows jumped. He felt a sense of danger descending. His eyes flickered as he looked around. He discovered that there were several pieces of purple-symboled bones in the void. High-level divine crystal condensed into divine bone. It was refined into a great killing weapon. His mind was jumping crazily as he quickly rushed to the side. However, it was clearly too late. This was what Shahao arranged after he ran away, placing them in the void. They now completely detonated. This place exploded. Space itself began to distort, and parts of the sky became indistinct. Huang Yu was right, at the center of it all, so he naturally suffered the most terrifying attack. Shahao brought out a dual pupil. He peered through the void, watching the miserable scene of the Daoist robe covering Huang Yu's entire body shatter under the great storm, and his body trickle with blood. However, he didn't die at all. Perhaps none of the wounds could be called serious injuries, just a one-time killing Dao weapon. "If you think that could kill me, you are too childish. It can't even severely injure me." Huang Yu's voice was ice cold. At this moment, his chest shone, using the supreme being bone. This might be the only opportunity. He was going to make his move during the chaos. Shahao's pupils were like golden lights. His chest shone and bone text emerged. Together with the sound of scriptures, it truly manifested. He used his most powerful precious technique to kill Huang Yu. Huang Yu's body was covered in blood. His face was incredibly downcast, and mangled flesh could be seen all around his shoulders, thighs, and other areas. He could actually survive under this type of terrifying attack. Something's wrong. Huang Yu sensed danger. All of his fine hairs stood on end. He quickly moved to the side, disappearing from his original spot. Shahao rushed over. His supreme being bone shone, and a layer of holy symbols passed through his body. He shouted loudly, "Hand over your life." In front of him, a creature in rather terrible shape rushed at him with great speed. The outside of his body was swirling with radiance, and countless golden feathers danced around him as if a god was descending. Shahao was shocked. He felt like something wasn't right. Finally, that figure backed up in retreat, struck by the reincarnation force. It quickly began to degenerate. The battle clothes on its body scattered away like ashes, and its body was also crumbling apart. However, this wasn't Huang Yu. Shahao's expression changed. The Supreme Being Bone's power was extraordinary when it displayed its power, but it couldn't hit Huang Yu. What it destroyed was merely a human-shaped puppet. While Huang Yu was speaking, his actual body already silently moved forward to deliver a counterattack towards Shahao. He wanted to thoroughly eliminate this lower realm geniuses to prevent future grievances. He used the puppet's body to obstruct the Supreme Being Bone's attack. Shahao's chest shone again. Bone texts emerged, accompanied with a wave of flourishing light. Terrifying energy pervaded the air. What? Huang Yu was astonished. He had made sure to confirm that the Supreme Being Bone couldn't be used in succession, needing a specific amount of time for preparation before its power could be displayed again. The most powerful wave of energy rippled over. Huang Yu's palm was dissolved. All types of symbols were wiped out. A large explosion erupted between the two of them, and endless light rushed into the heavens. So it turned out that you actually had a true deity beast skin. Huang Yu was astonished. This video will end here. Thank you for watching.